Pemirsa, Anda masih bersama kami dan di Create Up kali ini kita akan membahas tema menarik, yakni tingkatkan produktivitas perkebunan dengan drone, dan sudah tersambung melalui aplikasi Zoom Wilson Ong, Chief Operating Officer Terra Drone Agri. Hello, sir. Thanks for
Hi,
joining
hello.
us in Create Up Power Breakfast.
Good morning.
Okay, hopefully you're in a good condition. So, Mr. Wilson, we'll talk about Terra Drone Agri. Maybe we should start from Terra Drone Agri. What is that, and what's the service?
Sure. So Terradrone Agri is quite new. We just started this by having acquisition from Terradrone from Japan. So they are newly launching this whole new business unit to expand in Indonesia and Malaysia. So previously we were Avatech. Our solutions is essentially to bring drones, robotics, and mechanization to agriculture.
Okay,
This is one
for
of the
agriculture,
That's right.
the solution that's being offered by Terra Drone Agri.
That is right.
But before we dig deeper, first of all, how do you see the agriculture market, especially for drone in Indonesia?
Yes. It's a huge market. In Indonesia, it's 15.6 million hectares for palm oil alone. Add in other crops, your rice, sugarcane, and others, almost 40 million hectares. So it's a very big part of Indonesia GDP. It's a big market, but of course, this is also a very challenging business to be in. It's a business where either you become very, very big, or most of them don't survive. We've seen many companies come and go during our span of 4 or 5 years in this industry. So, huge market, great potential, able to make a big difference in the life of many people, and that's why we are here.
Okay, that's why Terra Drone Agri here. But
Indeed.
I want to ask you about what is the function of drone in agricultural sector? Is there any specific function?
Yes, of course. So we have 3 key divisions that we call it: diagnostics, monitoring, and treatment. So we do a lot of mapping. If you see from video, we do diagnostics and analysis of what's happening on the plantation. We find out what's the problem. And then we do monitoring for them, what's going on. Do we need to do treatment at this point of time? And of course, the most basic one that you see on the news all the time, drone spraying, fertilizer, doing the actual application of chemicals or unnecessary inputs for the crops.
Okay, but what's the difference between our treatment to plant or in agriculture in conventional way and using drone?
Efficiency. I think the big part of it is much faster. We are talking about millions of hectares here. If a person has to walk it through and find out, you have no quality control of what's happening on the ground. And that is the biggest difference between drones and typical old technology. Having an audit trail, knowing what you're doing. You see, one of the biggest problems with agriculture now that is not sustainable is the overuse of pesticides and fertilizers, because they cannot control. And that creates a lot of environmental problems down for your rivers, your ecosystems behind it. So if you're able to precisely pinpoint what's the dosage required, it's like you don't eat antibiotics all the time, right? You only eat it when you need it.
Okay, but the service like Terra Drone Agri, is it already available in the other countries, or it's the first time in Indonesia to start to provide a service for agricultural sector by using drone?
We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years already. So we have been in Indonesia for a good number of years, now in Malaysia and expanding to other parts of Southeast Asian countries. So the solution has been in Indonesia for quite a long time. I think for spraying wise, we have done more than 300,000 hectares.
Okay, sure. But in terms of business, I would like to know how about the profitability of Terra Drone Agri, and then how can the consumer in Indonesia use the service that provided by Terra Drone Agri? But we'll continue our discussion after the break, dan pemirsa tetaplah bersama kami, Create Up segera kembali. Ya, masih bersama kami dalam Create Up, pemirsa, dan tema kita hari ini adalah tingkatkan produktivitas perkebunan dengan drone, dan masih tersambung melalui Zoom dengan Wilson Ong, Chief Operating Officer Terra Drone Agri. Mr. Wilson, I would like to know how Terra Drone Agri serve the customers and how customers can reach out the service of Terra Drone Agri.
All right. To reach out to us, very simple. Just call us. Our website, our social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, we are there for you. So for us, we do services with our customers usually based on per hectare basis, depending on the size of the plantations. It ranges from anywhere 500 hectares all the way to hundreds of thousands of hectares for all different customers. So if you're looking at palm trees, usually it's quite big.
Okay, how many customers that Terra Drone Agri has already served in Indonesia especially?
Currently in Indonesia, it's around 50 over customers. Most of them are big plantations around.
So it's spread across Indonesia or maybe specifically only in some part of maybe only in Java or Sumatra?
All around. We have teams all the way from Medan, all the way to the other side at Papua. So any part of Indonesia, we are there. Okay, maybe Sulawesi not yet.
Okay, so from the experience that Terra Drone Agri has already found in the customers, how the customers can find the fittest solution from Terra Drone Agri. Are you providing many services that can be chosen by the customers?
That's right. That's right. I like to describe it as kueh lapis.
Yeah.
It's multiple layers. You don't need to take the whole thing at one go. In fact, for most customers, they start from the basic ones first to do mapping, to understand how many hectares do they have actually, how many trees do they have. Then moving on into more advanced diagnostics, how do we optimize, what kind of treatment is required. So it depends on the management and the different phases of technology adoption for every customers. Across Indonesia, we see many different kinds of people who has adopted technology differently over time.
So the customers use service of Terra Drone Agri in certain period or maybe just one time and then it's done?
Usually it's certain period across the year. So depending on which part of it, they will come in on a 1 year basis or a monthly basis if it's spraying. So outbreak driven, this is how it's usually done.
But how much it costs for customers to be assisted by Terra Drone Agri in their agricultural activities?
That should be a secret most of the time, right?
But maybe do you have any range? Maybe from 1 million rupiah to, is there any range?
Yeah, the solution doesn't cost a lot. For monitoring and diagnostics, usually we do from 20,000 per hectare all the way to 50,000 per hectare, depending on how much data they require. And for spraying, anywhere from 200 to 400,000 per hectare.
Okay, so there is a specific consideration for the customers, the cost or the fee that Terra Drone Agri will.
That's right.
Yeah. So don't be afraid, yeah, for the customers. And then,
it's affordable for sure.
So in terms of business side, Terra Drone Agri has already provided service in Indonesia for 4 years, but how about the profitability?
That's a good question. We have been EBITDA positive for last 2 years, and we are looking to be hitting net profitability within this year or the next year. Okay. So this business is about scale. If it's a small scale, it's hard because we have a lot of R&D involved in the business. Technology is new, and it requires a big scale for it to be a sustainable business.
Okay, it's quite good. So the EBITDA positive, and then it's about scale from the profitability. And maybe this is my last question because our time is limited. Mr. Wilson, what's next for Terra Drone Agri?
Many things. I think the big part of it, for Terra Drone Group itself, our dream and our ambition is to enable air mobility. So evolving the world from the sky, enable flying cars, what you see in the movies for it to come true. For us in the subdivision, the business unit of agriculture, is to bring this technology into how we can change the way plantation is working, which means bigger payload, can we transport logistics for them? How can we make things faster? So I think moving forward, the technology is about efficiency of the drones. How can we drive the cost down? And how can we do more with what we have currently?
Okay, we hope that all targets that already set can be achieved by Terra Drone Agri, and we wish that the customers in Indonesia will be more and more, and then Terra Drone Agri will be beneficial for Indonesian agricultural sector. Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson, for joining us in Create Up.
Thank you very much.
See you and good luck.
Thank you.
Dan pemirsa, itu tadi Create Up kita bersama dengan Wilson Ong, Chief Operating Officer Terra Drone Agri. Dan sebelum kita menutup perjumpaan kita kali ini, saya akan mengajak Anda untuk melihat update dari indeks harga saham gabungan di 9:20 waktu Indonesia Barat, di mana dari top gainers ada GSMF naik 20%, Fire naik 17%, MPRO naik 15%, dan juga saham CEM naik 13,86%. Dan top losers ada BRMS, di sana ada Dewa, GZCO, dan juga NCKL. Dan pemirsa, 90 menit sudah kami menemani Anda dalam Power Breakfast. Semoga informasi yang kami sampaikan tadi bisa menjadi referensi dan tentunya inspirasi untuk Anda. Dan tetap perbarui informasi Anda hanya di IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy and Comprehensive Investment. Referensi saya Fajar Wayong. Sampai jumpa.